I am no Wing Chun master, right? I know how to get down. I've used some Wing Chun in my boxing with a guy with a quick jab. I've trained at Eddie Chong's. I've done a seminar with Bradford Louie. I trained over at Craig Heimbacher's. I probably butchered his last name. I don't even remember the Siu Lim Tao form. I mean, I remember it. How's this? I know it enough to know some things that could and should change. And I know a little bit of history, different styles. The 70-30 versus the 50-50 versus why your knees would invert in the first place, why some would prefer the 50-50. How's this? At Master Chong's, they don't do the 70-30, all right? They do a 50-50. And even then, I remember the first time I was training over there, right? And everybody was doing the inverted pigeon toe, right? And he'd come up to you and he'd be like, "You're killing yourself. Like get a clue. Nobody does that, right?" And so for me, theoretically, the only reason you would even invert your knees is because, again, now we go to street fighting versus boat fighting. Boat fighting, yeah. Why do you think the Wing Chun pole is so long? It's a boat pole, right? So you boom, 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 2, 3, right? And then we come in here, boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? Now, and here's another thing. People will be like, keep your elbow in, keep your elbow in. First of all, two things. Nobody's fighting like this. Nobody's chi-sowing. That's not real life, okay? And most of the time, you're going to be going back and forth and blasting and spinning, pivoting, and delivering shots, right? So having your elbows in all the time is retarded. Up and in and down. Somebody's got a body lock on you, and you're bringing your hands up high and you're slipping your hands into this little pocket. They got you in a hold or something like that. And I mean, if you're lucky, your arms are free. You know, maybe you can hit them with some fingers to the thing, or you can, boom. But most likely, if they got a good grip, all you're going to be able to do, you won't even really be able to. How's this? Even if you do slide your hands in between their arm and break the grip a little bit, if they know what they're doing, they're just going to switch the grip. They're just going to switch the grip, right? But if you know anything about wrestling, and the Gracie hunter, Sakuraba, right? He would get put in a body lock, and he would find his arm in between this little pocket, and then he would get in there, and then he would grab the wrist, and then grab the... I forgot exactly how he would do the Kimura. It's kind of hard doing it on yourself, you know what I mean? But grab the guy's wrist, come through, and then moral of the story, learn some jiu-jitsu, all right? Go do some wrestling. Keep in mind, Sakuraba was the Gracie hunter, and he was more of a wrestler. Or was that Japanese jiu-jitsu? Don't quote me, right? So anyway, section 2, back to section 2. And, aside from all my grand wisdom, right? Here we are, boom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa! Now keep something in mind. This is another thing to look forward to. Another thing to look forward to. Let's say you just happen to have a pair of these. You see what I'm saying, right? Now be careful, because you can make yourself bleed, right? But a lot of this form, that part's kind of hard with knives, right? But, at the end of the day, when you see some of these moves and they do this shit, I'm sorry, they'll be like boom, 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 boom. It's be careful. Don't drop it on your feet, right? But that's a thing. That's what a lot of this is. Even the Fook, imagine fuking with a bladed weapon where you're, doom, 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 doom. You know, and that's even, in my opinion, why you're supposed to have a fist length between your elbow and your body. Because if you got some blade, if you got a long one like mine, right? You don't want to stab yourself. And if you get a little bit of pressure, you know, you got to keep in mind, combat is not Chi Sao. There's going to be no control. There's going to be no, you know, oh, your structure, oh, that's a bad, so your elbow, the pressure. Fuck all that. All right? Just do yourself a favor. Don't get punched in the face or in the solar plex. Don't stab yourself. I mean, Lord forbid you're in a knife fight. Though that's much more exciting, to be honest, you know. But in my opinion, and hey, that's another thing. You ever seen them styles where they'll be like with the fingers? Well, look at that. I mean, that's kind of sums it up, you know. And chain punching, by the way, I mean, you could punch with these either, but chain punching is a little bit safer, you know, because, well, whatever's clever.